structured today to have you really vent and talk to us about the situation of power in your area, because in the past couple of days, in parts of the Harcourt Metropolis, it's not been funny. Some people have not had power since Saturday, some since Friday. For some, it's been up and down. I think some people just recently started, enjoying power just yesterday. For some, still the same situation. I mean, for me, it's been without power. I've been without power since Friday, Saturday, till now. Nothing. And your documents on social media have been circulating from the PHED trying to explain what the situation is all about. But then prior to that time, it's not even been very fantastic. There's been plenty of questions because we felt that with the band introduction thing, you are band A, you're band B, only to discover that, they can even deband you. I don't know what that means. You can be debanded and moved to another band without you knowing. Without anybody asking you first, this is what it is. They can just deband you. There's a word like that. And you realize you're in band F or band whatever. And maybe you used to have power regularly. Because I remember I used to have power like at least 15, 16, 17 hours, at most 18 hours. There are areas in the same estate where I live where those people get 20 hours, 20 something hours plus. Suddenly, my 15 hours reduced to 10, sometimes to 8, sometimes to 6. And then what's happening? And then somebody said, maybe they have debanded you. Maybe they have changed your band. I said, but I'm still paying the same bills. I'm still purchasing I'm still purchasing the tariff at the same price that it was. It's not like somebody changed that. Did anybody change it and we did not know? Anyways. That aside, there are also questions around, what is happening with this? Let us understand this situation, the power, with the whole power thing. What is the problem? How does it work? Today, we're supposed to speak with, or we will be speaking with the Southeast Regional Deputy Secretary General, Senior Staff Association of Electricity and Allied Companies, Innocent Lord Douglas. He will be joining me on the show this morning, and hopefully he would give us insight into what is really going on and help us understand the situation properly, because I am confused. In fact, one time I told him I've given up. I'm not talking to any of you guys again. I don't want to know what you're doing. Is like, let me just stick to my generator and just know that I'll make up my mind to be buying petrol at 1,000, whatever I'm buying it, and know that I'm in charge of my power. Because I can't understand why today they will say I'm band A, tomorrow I'm band B, next tomorrow you're band nowhere. What's happening? Anyways, for you who's listening on Facebook, tell us your location and tell us how long you have been without power. Let us know. My guest is here. We'll also open the phone lines immediately after we come back from the commercial for him to respond to a lot. Mr. Douglas, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
If we can't move your seat towards so that you don't stay out of the camera angle, I think they'll come in and adjust you. Don't worry. If you're out of the camera angle, they'll come adjust you. We're live on Facebook, so if you want to watch, please get on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Please, anybody can come in here. Please come in and help adjust the seat for Mr. Douglas so he's within the camera frame, so we don't have him out of frame. All right, Mr. Lord Douglas, quickly now. Okay, I think that's so they can adjust that quickly. So I think that's perfect now. All right. First off, what is happening with the power? What is happening with the power? What is happening? I said it 3 times because we don't understand. And I'm sure many Rivers people are also wondering, what is happening?
Yeah, thank you. Having you once again. It's a good thing talking to Nigerians and the Rivers people. Again, about the power situation in Rivers State, most especially. On, I think, Saturday, we had a line cut in 1:30 tower by around Afam. And that put out supply in the whole of Rivers State. As of yesterday, it had been restored, and Port Harcourt is fully powered with information.
Hold on. That information, I don't know. I don't want to say it is not correct, but I don't know where the restoration happened. Under which government? Because this restoration you're talking about, it did not get to my area. And I'm pretty sure if we go to Facebook now, there are people already with messages. I think this restoration did not get Omuma 1 week now. If you're in Port Harcourt, let me know. Alakaya, since on Friday, no light. So Alakaya is just here. Please tell us about this restoration.
Yeah, the information within my table states that power has been restored. This
when?
Yesterday.
Yesterday evening.
Yes, and from transmission end, I got a very valid information that power has been restored fully. Then PhD, who distributes the energy, I was trying to get a contact of confirmation to know the feeders. But within this period that we have...
Okay, for the TCN, things are back on.
Yes.
But what we are not sure now is if whether all the feeders...
I've taken the load.
Yes. Okay, so that would explain why maybe some people still don't have.
Yeah, of course. When things like this happen, one at a time, during the time of restoration, you find out that we're having some local issues like transformer, like lines and that, which people have to go through the lines to trace it and to confirm. But from the TCN angle, I think supply have been restored. Then we'll get more from, maybe while we're here, I will get information from PhD as I was trying to get that before coming here this morning. But that is that. But I think there is a way to avert this thing.
What caused, before we get to the way, what caused this sudden whatever that happened? And how come we do not have a backup plan? So if anything happens, it means everybody goes, that's it, we're done.
Exactly where I was about to go to. What happened was that there was a line cut. And that line cut put everybody out of supply. But to go to your second question, where I was actually wanted to go, we're supposed to have a backup. In Onne, we have a 330 station built. And the 330 station is supposed to be a backup to the present 330 we are having now. And the only way that can come to function is when government and TCN brings this line from Asaba to Onne. The station is already there. But there is no line. That is the only thing that is going to save us.
Is the station working in Asaba?
It can't. Yes, of course. Asaba, there's one 330 in Asaba, fully on load.
Functional.
So
do they have the same problem we're having here in Asaba?
No. They may not. Because I may not know, I didn't prepare for that. I may not know the...
I want to know the power situation in Asaba.
I may not know the power situation, but of course, I know that after I've been fed through Benin, they may not. That is, if energy collapses in Benin, the whole nation is in trouble. So Benin is well.
But even in Benin, they don't have constant power supply, reasonable enough. Even in Asaba, they don't.
No, there is difference between having a 33 line, which is that of TCN, and now going down to the local problem, which is that of Disco. Of course, not PhD that takes care of Asaba anyway. Then, but I'm talking about in the standard of the TCN. If we take this 33 line from TCN down to Onne, when we notice this type of issue that occurred on Saturday, all we are going to do is to backfeed through that of this one I'm talking about now. Then you wouldn't notice it. Maybe it would just be maybe 1 hour or a few minutes of power interruption. You backfeed. But when you have only one that is now, and that one is old, one of the things that may
Let's take a commercial. Just hold that thought. We'll continue after that. I am still here speaking with, my name is Ifemi Andrew, by the way, and Innocent Lord Douglas is with me in the studio from Southeast Deputy Secretary General, Senior Staff Association of Electricity and Allied Company, and he's trying to educate us about the situation with the TCN and how it can be addressed and what we can do so that when there is a bridge in power at TCN level, this is not disco level, at TCN level, there is something that can be done to address it. Some weeks ago when I spoke with a retired staff of the TCN, he had said the major problem is the Gencos. That Gencos will always complain, no gas. Gencos will say no this. Say, but them, they are seeing the gas, so what's happening? Anyways, we'll come back to you to continue with your line of thoughts. But before that, on Facebook, go now and let us know your location. How long have you been without power? If it has been restored, also let us know. On Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. The WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. Mr. Douglas, okay, so let's get back to you. So you were saying that there is a 33, I think? 330 line in Asaba, yes, that we could link up with on air, yes, so that when these things happen within TCN, we can have a backup. Tell us how that would work.
It will really improve power supply stability in the South. And these are areas that will always employ government to come in, because it is a very capital intensive contract or job to be execute. So if the South government can team together and say, yes, we are going to bring this. To build one tower is about 500 million. Yes, and they know how many that is going to come from there to here. But it is achievable if the government or the South can come in. This is what you are supposed to know as a dividend of democracy.
So if we have Delta State working with Bayelsa State, yes, all on that line,
to Calabar.
Okay.
To Calabar. Of course, you know that Bayelsa is out of supply. Bayelsa is out of supply because those towers were done. But assuming there is a backup, Bayelsa wouldn't have been out of supply for 3 months. And being out of supply for 3 months, you know what that means. The whole economy of Bayelsa that's supposed to depend on supply are gone for 3 months. What are the revenue that's supposed to come? What happens to the ordinary man that your job is just welding? What happens to those that sell block, little and ice block? Everything is paralyzed for 3 months. And we are talking about people who talk about building bridge and building road. There are some things that government is supposed to give to the people that they govern, as little as this. Now, secondly, the line that is even having issue. Why? There are so many things that would have made that line to cut. Of course, you know that Port Harcourt is urbanizing by the day. People are coming. Every month, the rate of consumption increases. And it is that line that was built as many years as. And it has a span of how many energy is supposed to carry. So now that consumption is more than what it's going to bring, the moment you overload that line, it will cut. It's as simple as that. So what does that mean? Port Harcourt is put on so amount of energy. And that is why sometimes when we say we don't have light, there is just a new place developed, and they are dragging light to that place. Government make arrangements
to increase
the apart from generation. Of course, transmission will say yes, you can discharge, but how can you discharge?
So are you saying that the interruption that transmission companies are facing has a lot to do with the materials, that the equipment they are working with, some of them cannot carry the load now is demanded?
Of course. So it becomes dedicated. The number of energy that's supposed to come here is supposed to be dedicated. If it's more than that, the line gets problem.
So how did the TCN, okay, give us an idea. How does the TCN set up its equipment to carry this load in the first place?
No. You know,
while they were setting up the infrastructure,
beautiful.
Did they have in mind, like, is it that it was set up to say, 20,000 megawatts is what we will be transmitting?
This company, where we are now, has a structure for electricity by the architect or whosoever that did it.
Yeah.
And it may have been planned to take about maybe 30 air conditions. And if by tomorrow you come up and say, okay, you're going to put another building on top that is going to house another 15 air conditions, the cable that was used to wire this, it may not be enough to carry that. But it may not be able to change at that particular time, point in time. So what is going to happen? You're overloading that cable because you have extra 15 air condition in this building. So most of the cables will be burning as time goes on. You'll be having issues of interruption of supply one way or the other. That is exactly how Nigerians is built. That is exactly how every organization, even Power, Disco, and TCN are built. When they are bringing this line, what was the estimated consumption that's supposed to come to Port Harcourt? What was the population of Port Harcourt people or Rivers State at that time? And for over how many years has there been an improvement to that facility? No. Of course. People are building houses everywhere. Development is coming up everywhere. Government are opening roads everywhere. But what happened to the infrastructure that is bringing the supply to that place? It is not the staff of TCN that are going to do that. It is not. And when people channel their problem to staff, I get problem and I get agitated. Because the staff have nothing to do on that. The only thing we are going to do is to make a recommendation, just as people have recommended to management, to government. Look, we need so thing. Give us a line from Asaba to One. And if that line, 330 line is being drawn, Port Harcourt is going to be stabilized. Also, this one that just got caught the other day now, it might have stayed for some years. Can we restrict it, increasing the strength of the capacity of the cable? This is it. Not that TCN don't have the capacity to wheel out energy. Yes, they have. But the line in the energy are willing. How old are they?
But you mentioned staff here, and it brings me to my next question, because I know that your association is supposed to have elections soon. There are also comments of internal politics among staff and all of that could also be responsible for some of these issues that we are currently experiencing in the power sector or in general. You'd have to shed more light on this, because I've heard reports of people accusing your staffs and of cutting corners. In fact, tell us first, how does a feeder drop and you are in this feeder and then they move you from band A, now they have brought you to band F, and then tomorrow you're in band D. And the tariff increase, I'm pretty sure the tariff increase, they had said it was to be for people that were in a certain band, wasn't it? So if I was in band A paying the new tariff and then you deband me to band E or whatever you deband me to, how would I know? But I'm still paying that tariff. So what then happens?
If your feeder is degraded, your tariff will also be degraded.
It's an automatic thing. Yes, is that what it is?
Yes, they cannot charge you a higher tariff of a bank A when you're in bank D. And again, I think one of the major reasons why feeders are degraded is when people are not meeting up to the level to the amount of energy given to them in payment. So if maybe 100,000 energy is given to your area and people are not able to pay, you see that they can't be fitting there. So no need losing that energy. Why don't you give it to the area that are supposed
to pay?
Yeah, that are paying. I think that is the little information I may give as per that. I mean, there may also be many other reasons, technically, which I may not know. But for this, I think these are...
What about the politics within staff in your organization?
In my organization, we are the senior staff union. And one thing that keeps going for us is that we do not elect anybody that does not have a performance capacity in the company. It's just like when you go for SUG election, of course, you know that the CGPA need to be considered before they will allow you to contest. And that's also considered before we go for election as we are going today. And when we are talking about branch, we are talking about the whole PHED. So each chapter is supposed to be a staff, an official is supposed to be elected from each of the chapters. And we'll have over 13 chapters in PHED. So on that note, we take time to know one of the criteria before you will even be given opportunity to contest or be voted for is we are going to see your KPI, key performance indicator, and your response to your job. What are you doing well? What are your this? And we'll get that. And we'll get those information. They are all easy to get. Your management we can just key in and we'll get your performance. We evaluate your performance. And we know that. So that gives you, number one, opportunity to contest. Then, as per the politics that happens in the industry, of course, anywhere that people, 2-3 people, there must be policy. But the area that I will never want to agree, you know that I fight for workers of electricity sector. And I hate intimidation of workers. And one thing that we don't take is corruption in the industry. If my member is found culpable in corruption, the union does not interfere if it is proven beyond every reasonable doubt that this person have collected money. If a staff, either DSO or whosoever, will take money from community and give them excess load or more energy than their bank, they are starving other people. If such thing exists, or there are likelihood of such a remove.
Because I've heard of such things happening.
Yeah, people should
I've heard
let
people
us know.
say, oh, people are in certain bands.
Yes.
And then they are sorting some management staff or some individuals who are ensuring or trying to see that they keep them there.
Please, people should let us know.
But they're enjoying the power. That's why they won't let you know.
No. Anybody that suspects, because if I suspect that, if I know my band, I will ask people, which band do you? They say they don't know. I know. And I know that I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get. And my neighbor is getting more of what he's supposed to get. It may just give it to us. And somebody can, it does not take time to know the band. And it does, you see, we're in a technology age. What does it take? Every energy given out, the people there knows how much energy and when and the duration of energy that have been given out. So it is not a secret. It is not a secret. If somebody is giving beyond their band, people will know and they can question.
So what's your thought? Because I think I saw a document about false allegations against yourself.
Yeah.
Do you want to share more light on that?
Yeah, a little more. There was a time, I think August, that we had issue with a PhD and we picketed them. After picketing the company, well, of course, the board invited us to Lagos and went to Lagos and all our prayers were answered. And we opened up the company. 2 days or thereabout later, we got a mail that the company gave Lord Douglas 200 million for
PhD.
The PhD gave Lord Douglas 200 million for us to debunk on the picketing. You know, I immediately.
What were those issues? Because I remember I spoke to you one time about these issues.
Yes, the issues were a refusal to sign condition of service, which we have done now. And you know what we call cost of living adjustment, that is a COLA, which they also refuse, which they have done now. We have to talk about which other things, you know. So those are those things. But among the 4 prayers, we got all of them, and the management increased. I gave them the COLA, cost of living adjustment, and the management also approved. The board also approved that the condition of service should be signed, and other 2 things that are escaping from my head now. All those things were done, and that was how the picketing was called off. So the moment this news emanated, I immediately, on my own capacity as the accused and the DGS, I sent out a refutal. But my organization said that they wouldn't be in a hurry to just refute, or they are going to take their time and do an investigation. Or they went to bank, did everything. It was yesterday that I got a refutal from the organization, my organization, refuting it entirely and giving whosoever that sent out that a 7-day ultimatum or thereabout to go and
make a public
apology, or a legal action will be taken on them.
All right. Let's quickly take some messages and open the phone lines too. I'm sure a lot of people would want to say a few things. Peter Amadi on Facebook says, in Choba, no light for days. Just yesterday, we got power restored. Okay, makes sense. Iwafe, no power for about 4 days now. And even when they try to give it, it's normally 2 a.m. when we are asleep. Abego, Rumolumeni, no power. Please tell us what's happening. Good morning, sir. Please, Iwafe, Aka Road, would they see lights? I beg help me state the difference between federal light and state light. I think I've said this a million times on the show. There's nothing like federal or state lights. It's just the size of the feeders.
Yeah.
But I don't know how we came up with the federal state light thing. But the size of the feeders is what determines the people that are getting more power over the other. But why is it that way? Why can't everybody have like same size of feeder?
See, because of this thing I'm talking about, how much energy is coming to Port Harcourt per se, and if all of them are released, the energy might not withstand. And again, how much allocation comes to us. So that is why they prioritize. Nigeria is still growing. We're still a third world country.
All right. On the 6th, it's very close when consumption bills will be shared, so they will make everything possible to sustain generation and distribution, and then go back to status quo, which is the regular epileptic power supply. Like there's the popular saying that when it's time to come and collect bills, for people who are not using prepaid, then that day there's light.
They'll give the light.
But that really happens. 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0003. Please, I encourage you to just tell us straight where you are calling from, the power situation, or ask your question so that we can get the guest to respond simultaneously. All right? Work with us so we can make this worthwhile. Micah in Borokri first on the line. Good morning.
Good morning. I greet your guests in the studio. Comrade, good morning.
Good morning.
Go on, Micah.
Okay. Comrade has shared giving us an insight of the issue. But let me just say this. It was a coincidence. It's one of the things that happened that we experienced a few days ago. You know, he has told us how the networks are weak and it needs upgrade. Coincidentally, the line that is coming to Port Harcourt main are two lines. We have line 1, line 2 that fits this transmission station at Oginiba. Then one at Enzimiro. Then coincidentally, transmission was working, doing a maintenance on line 1 in their station. So line 1 was having power, but they could not use it. They were supplying with line 2 because they were doing an upgrade. Actually, transmission is upgrading now. Now, while that work was going on, that line now cut, the one that was serving the public as at that time. So they couldn't use the line 1 because they were already doing a maintenance. So that is what we observe. But there's one thing I want to put out for people to understand. When you talk about electricity, these chains of company generation, transmission, and distribution, people should understand that why you don't have light this period, it is not PHED. PHED did not get power from transmission. And that transmission line, 133 kVA line, is coming from generation to feed transmission and onward feed distribution. So that line has an issue. So it's transmission issue to fix the line, and PHD awaits supply from transmission. These are some of the things people should understand.
All right.
And when people say, "Oh, my neighbor have light, we don't have light," let me use a local narrative so that people understand. Iwofe Road might be good, and Ada George Road is not good. That is exactly what we are experiencing. People think all the lines, every power comes from one line. No, there are different lines. But you might not know. You might be walking through Ikwere Road from Maitri to Rumokoro, and you'll be seeing lines going. You wouldn't know that this one has stopped at this point.
Mike, unfortunately, I have to end and move on to another caller, even if you're making a lot of sense, because you sound as though you really know what you're saying. Yeah. But we have to move on to a cricket where Muriel is on the line. Muriel, good morning.
Hi, Fiemi, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Dr. Woman.
Okay.
Look, Fiemi, so far privatizing our national assets have failed us so much. I wonder why people that, I don't know if they have no idea of what you're going to venture into. You have no idea of how to deal with it. Or you don't know the measure of what you're going to venture into. You don't go ahead and take it. I hear that even federal government is still supporting them with so much loans and so much things, and yet they are still failing us. It's not rocket science. That's our neighbors, Ghana. Look, they are celebrating how many years of non-pass failure. If you don't know this, please go and learn. The knowledge is out there waiting for you. But I have one question for your guest. Why is it that in a particular area, there are people that have prepaid meters and there are people that don't have? But yet, when they come to that particular area, they maybe for the fact that those that don't have to pay are maybe tampering with their meters, they've not paid, they refuse to pay, and yes, everybody will suffer. The people that have prepaid and not even access light, and the people that don't have.
All right, Muriel, your question has been noted. Let's quickly go to Chima Irimokuta. JJ is also on the line. Chima, please keep it short, straight to your question.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Iframe.
Yes, straight to your question, Chima.
And I greet your guest. My own side in Rumukuta, for this problem, we have been having light at least, let me say, 18 hours to 19 hours a day. I compliment them for that. And because of this issue now, we just got light by around 9 to 10 p.m. yesterday night, and it was there till up to 6. I understood with him if he said that the thing has been restored. But I want to say that they should be proactive in this thing because they know that they are also imposing more on Nigerian economy. I have a precision close to my house here. Throughout this week, there was no light. If you see the troop of people going to buy petrol, you will pity them. So your guest in the studio, I want to tell him, please, they should be proactive.
All right.
Because it's not easy. You know?
Thank you very much, Chima. Let's quickly go to JJ in Rumigbo. JJ, good morning.
Yeah, let me greet your guest in the studio.
Thank you.
Andrew, I must tell you the truth on my mind. If you see where these IOCs are calling for bidding for a certain project, for this go sweet, you would think we are in Yankee. But when they did this selling of this asset to these people, they have not produced candle anywhere before. And that is how we got to the situation we find ourselves today. No expertise, nothing. Oh, building collapse. Oh, grid collapse. Oh, that collapse. Everything is just happening. I was expecting the Blackout administration to have sacked these people. Even Tinubu now. It's like they are even enjoying it. Budgeting more money to these people. There are people who are doing things right now. You cannot send money to them. But these people who are not helping Nigerians, since they bought a pin to anything, yet they keep pumping money into them. Well, let me congratulate them. We are watching. Thank you.
All right, JJ, thank you. Is it also possible that people who work in the power sector in their areas, they usually have light? Whether it's band A, band B, they just try to make sure that they have regular supply.
No, it's not true. It's not true. We serve the public as we serve ourselves. We don't select where we live. If I'm living where I stay, I enjoy the same bank with anybody that is staying around that area. So we don't have, even the MD of the company does not have a direct line or dedicated line.
Okay. All right. Let's say your responses then. 2 minutes is what we have.
Yes,
left,
Marian, if you live in a community where you have prepaid meters and people using analog, and they don't want to be disconnected, don't fight PhD staff. And also, don't disturb them when they want to disconnect you. The rule is they disconnect you from your meter. But of course, you know that you disconnect from meter, they call an electrician and they feed them back. And there is no supply. And if you go and start harassing our members, we disconnect you from the pole or from the what do you call it, transformer. Because we cannot bear the risk of you beating our people when your people are owing. We believe that communities should take charge of what happened. Look at how people are vandalizing towers. And these towers are in the midst of community. People can take ownership of this thing for the benefit of everybody. When you allow that, people come to work for you to get your meter for the one you have taken, you have enjoyed, and you start harassing them. We cannot allow to lose anybody. What we'll do is go up there, disconnect you, then let you go and tell the people on analog to go away before we restore you. Of course, if you are using prepaid and there is no energy, you are not being billed. So you cannot sue anybody for consuming your card without giving you supply. So that is that. Then, as per the guy talking from being proactive, I think the company is being proactive. It's just that the company lives amidst government. Government have the duty they do. The company cannot go and draw a line. This code didn't do that. Everybody, just as the Micah said, we have a chain of energy.
All right.
All that have to come.
Lord Douglas, thank you very much. We have to wrap up. Your Hello Port Harcourt is next.
Thank you very much.